Hey residents of Meepletown, today we are taking a look at some of the old Universal monster horror film characters, and we're going to be trying to defeat them in the game Horrified. So let's get to the table and check this out. Alright, here we have the setup for Horrified, and there are lots of things going on here, but we don't have to know everything. All you need to know is we have two monsters in this game. One is Dracula, and Dracula is trying to get us. And so what we need to do is to... he's out to get us, man. He's trying to get us.
That was excellent.
So we have to destroy these coffins throughout the board, and we are going to be gaining these different item tokens that will help us to destroy it. So for example, for Dracula, it says we need to have the red tokens with a value of 6 or more. So here's a value 6. What is this one called? This is a rifle at the barn. So we want to be able to get that, to get it over to the coffin to destroy it. Once we do that, then we can go on Dracula's space and then have 6 value yellow tokens and beat him. Then we have the creature from the Black Lagoon, and the creature from the Black Lagoon is hanging out in the lagoon. So we have to go over here to camp.
Another astute observation.
That is very true. All right, so we have to go over to camp, and we're going to have to move up on this boat token. Now, I've got everything laid down on its side so that you can see it, even though...
we'll move it up when the game starts. Yeah.
So, anyway, so what you're going to do with that, if you're at the camp, you're going to discard an item, and whatever color that is what space, the next space you're going to move up on the track. So if I discard a blue, I'll move up to blue. If I then discard a yellow, go to yellow. Once we get to the center, then we have to discard one of all 3 of colors in the creature's space, and then we will win. Yeah. And we're going to do that by taking a bunch of different actions, and we'll just explain as we go. I am the mayor, whose special ability is to have 5 actions, which is the most. Most either have 5 or 4, or some have 3. So what I'm going to do is I need to be able to get some red tokens, right, John?
Yeah, I'm thinking that if you get the red, I can get these blue and maybe go to because that's the furthest away we could get immediately for the creature of the Black Lagoon.
That's true. That's very true.
Are you wanting to kill one or
no, we also need to be able to get this dungeon thing. So
that's true.
Let's do what you said. So what I'm going to do is, for an action, I can take all the items in a space. So that's 1 action. 2 is going to go up there. 3 is going to take all those. 4, and then let's see. I'd like to be able to hand those off to you somehow, maybe. But I'm just going to move over this way and leave that dungeon coffin for you. Does that sound good? Or you want to go for the creature?
Well, I was going to go for the creature because there are no more red ones right here.
Oh yeah, good call.
I'll just do that for now. Who knows?
Okay,
maybe it's great or maybe it's a bad idea.
Maybe. We'll see. Well, you won't see. We're not going to play through the whole game. We're just going to show you a little bit of how it plays. So that's my hero phase. The next thing I do is I'm going to flip over a card for the monster phase. And this has 3 different areas on here. The first one says how many items you're going to draw from the bag. I'm going to hand those to you, John.
All right.
So John's going to draw 3 out of the bag and put them in the location that's listed on the item.
All right.
The next thing is to place Fritz at the tower. So we have these villagers over here, and Fritz is going to be hanging out at the tower. And I'll explain what we want to do, which is actually not bad. So if we can get Fritz to the, let's see, he needs to go to the Institute. So if we can get Fritz from here all the way down here to the Institute, then we're going to get a perk card. We each start off with a perk card, which is great because it gives you a benefit. But if you can get the villagers to the right places, then you'll also get a perk card. And the last thing is the bottom of the card, which tells you how the monsters are going to move. First, we would move Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster, or the Bride of Frankenstein.
Don't have them?
We don't have them out on the board, so we skip those. But the fire. So the frenzy token is on Dracula. So Dracula is going to move 1 space, and there's really only 1 space that he can move. He's going to be moving towards us and the villagers, and then he'll attack with rolling 2 dice if we were in a space with him, which we are not.
We're not. It's
so
nice. They're way over there. We're way over here.
That's pretty helpful.
Easy start off, I think.
Yep.
All right. So for my turn, I get 4 actions. My special ability is that I can pick up items from an adjacent space. So the first thing I'm going to do is come over to the tower. The second thing I'm going to do is pick up these tokens. And the third thing I am going to do is, I'm going to move, but should I go ahead and guide him too? Does that count as 1 action or 2 actions?
Yeah, so that doesn't add any actions on there. It's just guiding that person along.
So that counts as 1 action, so that would be my third.
Right. Yep.
And then for my 4th action, I could either kick Fritz down here
That's right.
You could guide him. We could move him along. Should we?
It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, to get him out of the way a little bit, maybe. So.
Yep.
That's not okay. That's
you're trying to save Fritz.
There you go. We're saving him. Alrighty.
So that's all your actions. So I'll just flip this for you, and that's going to be 2 items going out on the board.
Okay. And
the next one is
the creature
Frankenstein.
from the Black Lagoon.
Right. So the next one that you go down is Frankenstein, which is not in the game, so we're safe there. Then the creature is going to move 2 spaces towards me, and the creature is the only thing that can move through the water. Now, this is bad for me, and I'll tell you why in just a second. I did not think about how close I was. Creature moves 2 spaces and is going to roll 1 die. Now, if he hits me, I could discard an item to avoid it.
He did.
Or I would just get knocked out. Now, I really would like to have these because it's going to help me out. But here's the thing. If we get to the end of the terror track, we lose the game, so that's bad. But it wouldn't be awful for me to get knocked out, which moves us 1 on the terror track, and this is what I'm going to do. My character comes off the board, and then on my next turn I start on the hospital. Now, it's not terrible because I would like to be able to hold on to these items because we really need them to defeat Dracula. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll take 1 for the team. I'll get knocked out, and that also puts the creature right next to you, which is not good either.
It's okay. So I'm going to go, I'm just going to 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and go to the camp.
Okay. Are you going to skip my turn? I actually didn't go.
What?
That was your monster card.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So
my bad. I got so excited about playing.
Normally you would draw your own monster card, but I have them over here. So
you're right.
All right, so for my turn, I start off in the hospital.
I was getting hyped.
I'm going to move 1, 2. I'll discard this 6 and I'll rifle to destroy this coffin. So that's 1 out of the 4 destroyed. So I went 1, 2, destroyed it. That's 3, and I've got 2 more actions. I think I will just go... I don't want to move too close to Dracula.
Yeah, I know.
But you know what? I'm not scared of Dracula.
Oh my gosh, you already got destroyed by the creature from the Black Lagoon.
This is going to turn around to not be good. All right, so first thing we do is we draw 3 items from the bag. This is my turn.
Was this supposed to move after we used the flame last time?
It was not.
No, okay.
Now, there are some cards that will tell you when to move that. And
gotcha.
But you only move it if the cards direct you to do so.
Okay, you said 3 of these, right?
Right, 3 of those.
Okay.
All right. And then we're going to place Lucy from the villagers over here. Lucy's going to go in the theater right here with you, which is good. And where Lucy is trying to go is the mansion, which is all the way over here. So actually, it's not terrible. Now, the problem is John's probably going to want to move her around. You can go through the creature space if you want to. But anyway, I'll leave that up to you. And then here's a bad thing for us. So Dracula is going to take a turn. This is really bad for me, is what I meant to say. Boy. Dracula is going to go 2 and then roll a die. Now,
my God.
I could get lucky, and I did. But unfortunately, the Frenzy player is going to go next.
You're lucky for more than one reason.
Yeah.
You would have got hit again. So.
Well, Dracula goes again because the Frenzy token's on him. So I'm going to roll again. And he did hit. And it only takes 1 hit to get hit. Now, this time I will discard a token, which probably is not a great move because I'm potentially going to get attacked again, but it's fine. That is what it is. That is the end of my turn. Back over to John. Let's just play 1 more turn, and then we'll show how this plays out, and we'll give our thoughts.
Okay, because we're playing one on their turn, I want to at least show them what this looks like.
That's why
I went ahead and do that. So I thought about kicking her down, but then I won't have enough.
Forget about her.
2, 3, forget about her. Lucy might get destroyed by the creature from the Black Lagoon, but that's all right. So I moved 1, 2, 3 spaces. So for my 4th action, I'm going to get to discard one of these. So I'm going to discard one of the blues. Doesn't matter what number it has on there.
Not in this game yet.
And so we're going to move from here up to there, and that is the end of my turn.
Right. That was a pretty quick turn, and then we would take the monster phase, so that's going to put 0 items out on the board, which is not good. Then the mummy part is, there's no mummy in the game, but Dracula's going to attack again. How about that?
Oh, boy.
All right, so we're going to roll, and this wasn't terrible, so he didn't hit me. But his special effect comes in with this little exclamation mark, which means that he's going to move into a space with me, correct?
So nothing happens.
Nothing happens. He does not get me this time.
That's a good roll for you.
That is exactly right. And that kind of gives you a play, but what we're trying to do is defeat those monsters once we do that, and then that is the that's our victory condition. Now, if they get us to the end of the terror track, that is how they are going to win. And let's get to us, and we'll talk about the art and components.
Sounds good.
All right. All right, so that was some of the gameplay. Let's talk about the art and components. What do you think, John?
All right, so the artwork is really cool. I mean, look at these things, man. These are fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially if you're into this old school monster Universal theme. It's nice. I'm very much happy. I like the board. I think the artwork is all good. I'll toss it back over to you. It has just like cool old school. Like, look at these cards, man. That's just it's really, really cool.
Yeah, and there's I agree. There's not much I can add there with the components. Now, some people really don't like cardboard standees, and I'm one of those people. But in this game, I think you kind of need to have the standees because they're the locations for the villagers listed on here, and so you have to have those written in order to be able to know where they're going to go. And also for your characters, you need to be able to quickly distinguish them from the villagers, also from the monsters. And because there's a lot going on the board, it's kind of busy, but it's not ugly. It's really pretty, and it's not busy like as an eyesore, but there's a lot going on, and so you need to be able to distinguish. So I think...
I like how it's like blue here and the yellow really stands out.
Yeah,
Cool.
That's exactly right. And so for me, that's a big plus. All the art and components I love.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the component... I talked about art, but component-wise, I think they're good. Yeah. I mean, they don't like... These miniatures aren't...
They're not great.
They're actually pretty bad, but they're miniatures, so that's cool. Better than a cardboard standee.
That's exactly right.
But not much better than that.
Yep. All right, but what about gameplay? What do you think?
All right, you want me to go first?
Sure, yeah.
All right, so I like the gameplay. It plays like a kind of like a Pandemic or Forbidden Island. I mean, like a lot of these co-op games, you're taking your people out, you're collecting things, you're dropping them off somewhere or something like that, something along those lines. So it gives me the same feels as those games. So I like the game. The theme is cool. I think the theme is really cool. But this is not one of those things where it just like totally sucks me in. Like I'm not really into like monster and horror things and like the old school way. Though I will say if we're going to talk about monster and horror, this old school is my jam. Sure. Like this is definitely much more my jam than that. So I like that. But yeah, I'll toss it to you and we'll keep going back and forth.
Yeah, I really like co-ops, and this is one that I like quite a bit. And the reason why is because it plays so quickly. The rule set's pretty easy to understand. The actions that you take aren't they're not overly complicated. I would put it on par with Pandemic, actually, kind of the way that it plays out. But because the monsters are so different and how those play out, so the ones that we played, all of them have this idea that you're discarding items to do different things. But the way that plays out is so different. Dracula, you have to go around, destroy these coffins, and the creature, you have to go to the lagoon and actually find the location. And the mummy is pretty fantastic because you have this little puzzle aspect where you're moving these numbers around the board. So I really, really like how all this plays out and the variability that comes from the monsters and from the heroes as well.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest co-op fan. Like that's one thing as I give you my ratings and stuff later on, that just keep that in mind. Like Pandemic is probably my favorite co-op game, and I like it. But I don't love Pandemic. I think it's a good, solid game, but I don't love it. I do love the way these monsters work out, like you said, though. I was gonna say, like, it's so cool that they have different ways. It's not the same old, and especially when you get those different combinations. That's really nice because it'll feel different every single game. I like that. But overall, it's pretty simplistic decisions, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of pushing your luck about where you're going. If you're going to pass the fella or whoever, if there's I don't know, whatever the creature is, whenever you're trying to pass them, should you do that? How many spaces away are you? Which one should you go first? Should we both attack Dracula? Should we go for one? I mean, so it's not like it's definitely fairly simple decision. So because of that, it's just, I mean, this game is a decent co-op game for me. I'm not like overly excited about it, but it's a solid game. I know you're going to disagree with that.
It is a solid game. Well, I'll disagree with you mostly because you're wrong. It's a fantastic game. This is a wonderful game. And it's not because the choices are difficult. It's because the variability that you get. Now, if you just had a couple monsters, it would be an okay game. But the variability that comes from that, I think, is really kind of exciting. And there's these kind of laugh out loud blow up moments when you roll the dice and you get hit or don't get hit or whatever. So that's interesting.
Or cry out loud.
But the reason why it's such a big plus is the theme for me, and because it is such a simple co-op game. I can introduce this to anybody, and I can teach it in just a couple minutes. We pick it up, run with it, and the decisions aren't difficult necessarily, but there is a lot of thinking not thinking, but there's a lot of like chance of where you're going to go, and like you have to take chances in this game, which I think is where the excitement is, because we had 2 monsters, which can be difficult with 2 monsters, but putting 3 monsters is really difficult. So you have to think, okay, which monster am I going to go attack? Do we want to take this one out first, or do you want to work on these and I'll work on these? So like those decisions, although not super complex, are just fun and makes it feel like you're in this setting. I think for me it does.
A monster or whatever. Yeah.
Sure, and theme's really important to me. So I really like this game, which is why I give this an 8.
8? Oh man!
I give this game an 8 because I want to play it a lot. It's one that it's going to be a go-to Halloween season game. It's going to be one that gets to the table a lot. One that my family's going to enjoy or does enjoy, and I love it. 8.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So again, I think the theme is really cool. I think the gameplay is good. It's solid. But it didn't just grab me. But again, take that with a grain of salt because I'm not the biggest co-op fan.
Right.
So I'm going to give it 6.5 out of 10, which is, it's a good game. Dean wants to play it. Would I play it? Yeah, most of the time. Am I going to be super excited about going and playing it every time? Not necessarily, but it is fun. And honestly, it makes me kind of want to finish the game that we started because it's fun. I'll see what happens. So I like it. Don't love it. 6.5 out of 10.
Sure. And because we're so split, I think it would be helpful to say, if you like cooperative games, if you really like Pandemic and you like this theme, I think you got to go pick it up, right? If that's your thing.
I feel like Pandemic's a little more thinky than this.
It is.
So like
that would be a little, not a ton. But
that would be the only thing if it comes. I feel like to me it feels more like Forbidden Island decisions that you're making, but
maybe in between there somewhere.
Maybe in between. Let's just meet in between.
How about if you disagree with us, you can get in touch with us by commenting below.
Yeah.
Tell them how else.
Yep, so tell them how us. Is that what you just said?
Else.
Tell them how else.
How else they can get in touch with us.
So first of all, if you're enjoying this crazy buffoonery that we're talking about, subscribe to our channel. That would be awesome and help us out a ton. Comment below, as Dean said. We would love for you to comment below, especially if you played this game. Let us know your thoughts, what you think about it. And let us know who's right, Dean or me. Subjective opinion, so actually no one is right.
Actually, it is me.
No, it's not. All right, we're on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. All that is at Meepletown Games. We also have a podcast, which is really just wild and fun. And you can listen on iTunes or Google Play, Stitcher, whatever. Just look up Meepletown. And then lastly, if you want to get closer to us, even closer, you can join our Board Game Geek Guild 3407.
And that's going to do it. Thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games, and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild, Guild number 3407, at BoardGameGeek.com, and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.